to Jurassic Park fans. Welcome back to my channel. This is Athie movie reviews. My name is On the Brinker, and finally, I get to review one of the anticipated films of the year, Jurassic World Dominion. This movie is the third movie in the Jurassic World trilogy, or this is the sixth movie in the Jurassic Park franchise, however way you want to put it. This movie is directed by, once again, Colin Trevorrow, and this movie stars Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, DeWanda and Isabella. And of course, this review will be a non-spoiler review. I won't spoil any element from Jurassic World Dominion. You guys are here with me. This is just my initial thoughts on the movie, so you guys are safe with me. Now, on to the review. Now, when it comes to the Jurassic Park franchise, it's very hit or miss. Of course, the first Jurassic Park, I really enjoyed. I love that movie so much. It's one of my favorite movies, of course, of all time. It's one of the most iconic movies of all time. But after the first movie, the sequels have been hit or miss. I didn't mind The Lost World. I actually really did enjoy that movie. I thought it's an entertaining, good time. Jurassic Park 3, as much as how bad it is, it's a guilty pleasure for me. But yeah, it's not a good movie. I did enjoy the first Jurassic World. I remember walking out of the theater actually really enjoying the movie. And I still do enjoy this movie till this day. But when Fallen Kingdom came out, yeah, that movie was a mess. At least the first act was good, but yeah, the second to third act was a huge mess. But at least the ending to Fallen Kingdom got me very curious about this movie, and it becomes in my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. I honestly am excited to see the original cast coming back from Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum coming back, reprising their roles from the original films. It's interesting to see the new cast and the old cast team up together in this film. And with a plot where dinosaurs are basically out in our society, you know, running free, I'm very interested in this film. The trailers actually do impress me, and I was actually pretty interested in this film. And yeah, the thing I'm very skeptical of this film is Colin Trevorrow coming back directing this movie, because he did direct the first Jurassic World, and remember how Star Wars ended up. The Force Awakens was great. J.J. Abrams directed that movie very, very well, and then Rian Johnson did The Last Jedi, and that movie turned out bad, and J.J. Abrams came back to try and fix everything, but it made it even worse. So I was worried that Jurassic World Dominion will kind of do that, but I still gave this movie some hope. And I gotta say, unfortunately guys, this movie definitely turns out like The Rise of Skywalker with the Jurassic World movies. Now, do I hate Jurassic World Dominion? Absolutely not. This is not the worst movie of this year. There are some good things about this movie, so let's talk about that first. The cast. The cast in this movie, done a great job. Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, they're still great in this movie, reprising their roles as Owen and Claire. My name. Just how weird is that when someone says your own name in a movie? I just want to put that out there. That is just weird to hear, in my opinion. But Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, great job in this film. They provide their roles very, very well. They still play the same characters that we know and love from the Jurassic World movies. They're still there in this movie. But of course, the people that actually stood out in this movie is the OG cast. Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. They're both fantastic in this film. Those three actors are definitely the saving grace of Jurassic World Dominion. Neill, great to see him back as Dr. Alan Grant. Jeff Goldblum, Ian Malcolm, great to see him. He is actually really great in this film, Jeff Goldblum. He provides some of the funniest lines in the film. Laura Dern is also fantastic in this film. And the good thing about them three, they have a lot to do in this film. They're not just cameos in the film for the sake of nostalgia. They're in this film for the story, and that's what I wanted to see with them. I don't want them to just be cameos and they just team up at the end. They're in this movie for a reason, and I actually really do love them three in the film. They're the saving grace of this film. Whenever there are scenes with them, I did enjoy the movie for that. And of course, the dinosaurs. That's the best part about this movie. The CGI, the look of the dinosaurs look amazing. There are some new dinosaurs in the film that are introduced in this film, and I really like the new dinosaurs. They're actually really cool in the film, and I like that they have a mixture with practical effects, with real effects. It takes me back what I love about the first Jurassic Park, and I'm glad they did that here in this film. They don't just do CGI, they also do some practical effects as well, and I thought they did a great job with that in this film. The action is a lot of fun. There are some really good entertaining scenes in this film. The action is just a lot of fun. It's definitely what you expect from blockbusters like this. There are some entertaining scenes in this film. I wouldn't say the whole film was boring, because there are some entertaining action scenes in this movie. And I would say the score in this movie is also really, really good in the film. The score, of course, rehashes from the original movies, but also they did something new with it, and I thought they did that really well in this film. And I'll say the look of the movie looks nice. The cinematography, for the most part, looked really, really good in this film. But unfortunately, guys, this movie was probably the biggest disappointment of this year. It is entertaining at parts, but throughout most of the movie, it turns out to be one of the most boring movies that I have seen the entire year. The story of this film really is all over the place. This movie basically has two storylines in the film. One that has to do with the OG, and the other has to do with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. And honestly, these plots just felt like two separate movies just putting into one. This movie is basically the longest movie in the Jurassic Park movies. This movie's like 2 hours and 30 minutes long, and you can really feel that pace. This movie was just a snooze fest from start to finish. Even though this movie has some entertaining moments, they're basically a bit of it, because the story takes more over than the action scenes of the film. And the story, I would even say, the story has nothing to do with dinosaurs without spoiling it. It turns into some kind of rescue mission without spoiling it, and I honestly didn't care for the story of this film. And because of the story taking over most of the time, we don't get to see much of the plot where dinosaurs are basically living in our society. I find that plot very, very interesting for the end of Fallen Kingdom, and I was curious to see how that's going to turn out in this movie. But that plot was just more in the background in this movie. It just focuses on this rescue mission, and the OG cast has to figure out something. It has nothing to do with dinosaurs or even Jurassic Park in general. It just turns into either like a spy espionage film or some kind of rescue mission film, and dinosaurs are basically just in it. They're just like in the way to do action scenes of this film. And that is very disappointing. It's a Jurassic Park movie or a Jurassic World movie. We need more dinosaurs in the film. We do get dinosaurs, but in my opinion, not too much of it. And with that story not being as interesting as I want it to be, this movie just turns out really boring for 2 hours and 30 minutes long. The characters in the movie, like except for the OG characters, I was not interested. Even though Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard does a great job in the film, their characters aren't as interesting as I wanted. Even that clone girl in the film from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I didn't find her interesting in the second movie, and I didn't find her interesting here. Without spoiling it, she's a big part of this movie, and I just didn't find her that interesting at all. Even though her performance was good in the film, I just didn't find her character as interesting as I wanted. The story consistency really ruined this film for me. It turns into a gigantic mess, because with the two stories in the film that don't really match together, it makes this movie a gigantic dino poop mess. Yeah, that's a pretty cheap joke, but that's all I can come up with. And especially that this movie is the conclusion of the Jurassic World movies, or the Jurassic Park movies in general, this movie does not feel like a conclusion at all. It just felt like a normal movie with all the cast coming together to do something at the end of the movie. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like a conclusion at all. There's nothing concluding about this movie. There's nothing that concludes in this movie. It just felt like a normal Jurassic Park or World adventure that just felt more like a snooze fest than an entertaining ride, and that's very disappointing. Not much dinosaurs, the story takes more over than the concept itself. Guys, overall, Jurassic World Dominion is a big letdown for me. In my opinion, this might be the worst movie in the Jurassic Park franchise. I honestly think Fallen Kingdom was better, because at least the first act of that movie was better than this movie. Do I hate this movie? No. There are some entertaining aspects of the film. There are some positives. The cast is great, and the action scenes are a lot of fun to watch. But the story and consistency, the way this movie concludes, and the way this movie is constructed, it really messes it up. Guys, I would say Jurassic World Dominion, you can go see it, and you'll find some entertainment with this movie. But in my personal opinion, I was not a big fan of this movie, and I was very disappointed by this movie. Don't hate it, but this could be in my #1 most disappointing movies of the year, because this movie has so much potential, and it just definitely ruins it off itself. But the OG cast is great in this film, with Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and some of the action scenes are entertaining, so there are some entertaining aspects from this film, so I am going to give Jurassic World Dominion a C-. Yeah, definitely one of the most disappointing movies of the entire year. Don't hate the movie, there are some entertaining aspects, but definitely the storyline really ruins the movie. So hopefully Lightyear gets better than this movie. So guys, that is my review for Jurassic World Dominion. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like the movie, hate the movie, or you thought it's okay? And what is your favourite movie in the Jurassic Park franchise? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Keep contact with me. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. And have a nice day.